death of the physical body is really nothing, that it's not the end, that it might be the beginning of another great adventure. And what we are fundamentally is consciousness. And that's why I regard our society's reaction to psychedelics, until this relatively recent research has begun to get a toehold, our society's reaction to psychedelics, and still the case in most countries and most states, has been to make psychedelics illegal, to demonize them, to threaten those who use them with prison, and to defame their names. And yet, again, this is a point that I regard as extremely important. If we're not sovereign over our own consciousness, then we're not sovereign over anything. And it's impossible to speak about freedom when the government holds the keys to our consciousness and tells us what we may or may not experience. And then, of course, the flack will come back, and they'll say, oh, but psychedelics lead people to do things that are dangerous to others. Well, actually, first of all, they don't. And secondly, we already have laws that deal with people who do dangerous things to others. So we don't need laws that patrol the inner sanctum of our consciousness. There's just so much wrong with the way this issue has been handled in the modern world. And my only hope is that it doesn't get completely taken over by Big Pharma. That other dead hand doesn't step in. And I know already of pharmaceutical companies who are taking out patents on slightly tweaked molecules, making their own, where nature provides it free of charge to all of us.
Yeah, so many, powerful thoughts, and I absolutely, unequivocally agree with you in all of this. And it's really, there's an upside down way of thinking. They think of it as not being sober, when actually on these medicines it feels like a hyper sobriety, like you've kind of woken up from the delusional dream that you've been in your waking reality. So it's almost not being sober, it's actually being more sober than you ever were. And it's not I may harm other people.
Yeah.
It's not I may harm other people. It's actually, if every time you've been an asshole is then shown right in your face, and you have to deal right in your face, and you have to deal with every time you've said something mean or hurt somebody or been thoughtless, you're really, it's your conscious. It's your consciousness.
These plant and fungi medicines are real teachers. They teach us the mistakes we've made, which we've normally blocked out because we don't want to hear about our own mistakes. They force us to confront them, and that gives us the opportunity not to repeat those mistakes in the future. These are incredibly helpful medicines, and apropos of the word sober, I mean, look at the one consciousness altering drug that's particularly valued and glorified in our society, which is alcohol. Alcohol is truly a dangerous drug. It leads people into very aggressive behavior. It gets them into fights. It leads to car smashes. It destroys the liver. It's a huge health risk. And yet, and fundamentally, people do not drink that glass of wine or that can of beer because of the taste. They may like the taste, but they're fundamentally drinking it because of the brief alteration of consciousness that it brings to them. The most boring drug on the planet is glorified by our civilization, and it's a consciousness-altering drug. But yet other consciousness-altering substances, which lead us to question the mainstream narrative,